everybody. How are we doing tonight? Thank you all so much for coming out to the beautiful Tacoma Comedy Club, and no better day to be here. We've got Casey McLain in the building. Give it up for him, would you? Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. It's a great day. It's a Friday. It's beautiful. It's 4th of July weekend. Yep. America's 250th birthday. Speaking of America, the U.S. national team keeps on winning too. That's pretty fun. Yeah, the World Cup is awesome. I mean, because there's all these teams are getting stationed all across North America. And right now, the Egyptian national team is stationed in Spokane, Washington. Yeah, like one of the most beautifully, historically rich countries in all time. And they're just stuck in Spokane, inhaling diesel dust. I was actually in Spokane on Juneteenth. Yeah, we know that's a very big deal out there. It was very interesting. I was walking around that city and they closed the Nike store in observance for Juneteenth. Yeah, Spokane was I guess black people like Nike. And it was interesting because right across the street, the Carhartt store wide open. Yeah, their employees were like, Juneteenth, brother, what the hell is that? Get on in here. But yeah, my name is Andre Quest. I will be your host for tonight's comedy show. A couple quick things about me. I am black, white, and Native American. Oh, okay. Thank you. Don't worry, we're not going to do a land acknowledgement ceremony now, but I just like to get that out of the way, because I know what I look like. I look like TSA's worst nightmare. And if it's confusing for you, don't worry, because it is for me too, because I'm not particularly good at being any of those things, all right? Yes, I'm Native. I've never gone hunting. I've never sold fireworks. I'm white, but I don't like going to farmers markets. I don't let dogs lick me in the face. I'm black, but I still gotta wear sunscreen. I guess technically I could say the N-word, but I also look white enough to get beaten up if I did, so. It's very confusing, black, white, and Native. My mom is white. My dad's not a part of my life. And it's all right, my mom is the best, she always made sure and never seemed like there was anything missing for me and my sister's life. And she also always ensured that we knew we were a part of the indigenous community, even though she is not. So she'd do things like take us to powwows every now and then. I mean, you can all imagine what that looks like, a white lady walking around a powwow with a couple brown kids, looking like Sandra Bullock. And my mom is the best, but she makes fun of me a lot, The thing she'd say to me the most when I was growing up, she'd say Andre, you're kind of a mama's boy. And I was like, that's a weird thing to say to me, especially considering I didn't have a choice. If I prefer dad, who isn't even here, over you, I don't think you're doing too good. I had a great childhood, being raised by a single white mom. I didn't get allowance, instead I got reparations. I had a great childhood. I played a lot of basketball growing up, I went to a private school. I played basketball there for a little bit, but I also played AAU basketball, and if you know anything about either of those, you'll know they're on very opposite ends of the competitiveness spectrum. Private school basketball, you're playing against nothing but future real estate agents and investors. They got their basketball stuff in a briefcase like, come on, Tanner, it's game time. AAU basketball, you're playing against nothing but future Division I athletes and gang members. Private school basketball, no intensity. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, you're still gonna get orange slices. And if you do win, the parents will do that cute little tunnel for you at the end, just like, woo! AAU basketball winning is all that matters. Sometimes I get a ride from my coach. He'd be driving me like, Andre, I'm gonna tell you this right now, okay, buddy? We better win this tournament. And if we don't, well, you're gonna have to find another ride home, okay? And I was always like, well, coach, if we lose, doesn't that just mean you did a bad job? Guess who didn't play the whole tournament? Yeah, I loved rap music growing up too. Like, I was a big fan of rap music. I like rap music because it makes me feel tough, you know, which I'm not. You guys all just saw how I said tough like that, but like every genre of music is good for something. You know, you listen to rock and roll, feel rebellious. You listen to R&B and feel romantic. You listen to country music, you feel racist. You know, it's all good for something. Like, and some people, they'll say that kids shouldn't listen to rap music when they're growing up. You know, it'll negatively affect them or whatever. I don't have kids. I would never tell anyone how to raise their own kids. But for example, when I was growing up, 50 Cent was my favorite rapper, okay? Me and one other person. And he released an album called Get Rich or Die Trying in 2003, all right? I was 6 when it came out. And my favorite song then, even as a 6-year-old, the Pimp song. And we all know how it goes, you know? He said, I don't know what you heard about me, but a girl could never get $1 out of me. I used to sing that song with my chest. And now my girlfriend lives with me rent-free. No, I had a great childhood, man, I did. I played a lot of video games, too, when I was growing up. I tried to play video games again recently, and, like, it's too much going on. Like, I got overstimulated and froze up, like Biden giving a speech. I was just... And, like, recently I was playing Call of Duty, okay? And something was kind of surprising to me, okay? No gay characters. And I feel like there should be, especially since while you're playing, everyone's calling you gay the whole time anyway. But, and what I mean is, like, during the game, there are certain voiceovers for what's going on in the game. So you'll be running around, and your guy gets shot at, bah, 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 and instead you'll say something like, oh, I'm taking fire. But don't you think it would be a little bit more fun if you were running around, you got shot at, bah, 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 and instead your character was like, excuse me, I need some help over here. You know, or maybe you're doing really good and they're like, pow, 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 never mind, you better help them out. I don't know, I just think we're missing out on something, you know. Speaking of Call of Duty, I live on the east side of Tacoma. Yeah, we're all excited for summer, but summertime there is different, you know. It's like gunshots followed by emergency sirens, and then 5 minutes later it's the ice cream man again. You hear gunshots and I'd be in my house like, excuse me, I need some help over here. And you know, like, the thing that upsets me the most about living where I live, it's not even like the crime or violence or any of that, but it's when someone looks me dead in the face and they're like, well, Andre, money doesn't buy happiness. Yeah. You know, on one hand, I understand and I agree with the sentiment of that statement, sure. But on the other hand, I've been to Gig Harbor. You know what I mean? Seems like happiness is just a tax bracket away, I don't know. I mean, it's like as soon as I cross the Narrows Bridge, it's like the sky is bluer, the grass is greener, the dogs are inside with their loving families. And yeah, sure, money might not buy you happiness, but it will get you like a Whole Foods in your neighborhood, you know? Like the best we got, it's like a grocery outlet, and it's fine, it's good, I'm not complaining, you know? But if we're being honest, you can't buy regular groceries in the grocery outlet, you know? Like you don't walk down the cereal aisle of grocery outlet and see Cheerios. Instead, they've got a cereal, it's called Kiddos. Yeah, it's got a picture of Epstein's face on the box. I was like, what is going on here, dude? I walked further down the aisle, I saw the chocolate ones, they've got R. Kelly's face on those. I have a girlfriend. You guys can probably tell just by how I'm dressed that I'm dating a white woman. And she woke up very upset today, and I woke up in a good mood. It's Friday, 4th of July weekend. I get to be here with all of you guys. I was like, good morning. She rolled over all angry. Morning. I said, what's wrong with you? She said, well, last night I had a dream. And I said, okay, well, what's that got to do with me? She said, because in that dream, you cheated on me. With an ugly girl, too. And I was like, well, why would you even have a dream like that? She said, I think it's my intuition warning me about your future actions. I was like, I think you watched too much That's So Raven when you were growing up, but why don't you look it up, okay? And so she did. She searched on Google. She said, why would I have dreams that my significant other is cheating on me? Here's what Google said. Google said, dreams like this typically occur due to underlying trust issues, insecurities, or unresolved conflict within the dreamer's own mind. I said, wow, babe. Google gaslit you better than I ever could. All right, thank you guys so much. You are an absolute great audience. We're going to keep the show going. We have a very special guest tonight. He's a local favorite. Please make it real loud right now for Jeff Everett.